Elliot hated unpacking. The boxes seemed endless, and his new apartment still smelled faintly of mildew and dust. The building was old, the kind of brick structure with creaking floors and radiators that hissed like snakes. He almost missed the old TV at first. It was shoved into a corner of the basement, its screen cloaked in grime, a rabbit ear antenna bent like a snapped limb. He reached to drag it out, intending to toss it into the building's junk pile, but something about it made him pause. Carved into the back casing, hidden beneath layers of dust, were strange symbols. Circles interlocked with jagged lines, not letters, but deliberate. Ritualistic. Against his better judgment, he hauled it upstairs. That night, after half a bottle of beer and a failed attempt to set up Wi-Fi, Elliot decided to plug it in. The screen flickered, buzzing alive with snow. No channels, just the sharp hiss of static. He was about to turn it off when the static shifted. It pulsed. Patterns formed in the blur, and then words appeared, scrawled in jagged letters of black and white. "Hello, Elliot." He laughed nervously. "Okay, weird. Someone left some kind of tape in here?" But there was no VCR attached, no input cables. The thing wasn't even hooked up to an antenna. The words flickered again. "Don't laugh." His stomach turned cold. "Who are you?" he whispered. The static swirled into shape. A figure emerged, blurry and grainy, tall, faceless. Its outline jittered like it didn't quite belong on the screen. "Look behind you," Elliot spun. The room was empty, his couch, his boxes, the dim lamp, nothing else. When he turned back, the figure was closer, pressed to the glass. Hard hammering, he yanked the plug from the wall. The screen went black. Relief washed over him, until he noticed the faint reflection in his window. The TV was on again. The figure pushed at the inside of the screen. The glass bulged outward, rippling like water. A hand pressed through, long, skeletal static crawling across its skin. Elliot stumbled back, knocking over a lamp. The bulb shattered, plunging the room into half-darkness. The thing's voice filled his ears, not from the speakers, but inside his skull. "I've been waiting." Elliot grabbed the nearest box cutter from a pile of unpacked kitchenware, brandishing it like a weapon. His hand shook violently. "Stay back," he croaked. The hand withdrew, the figure faded. The static dissolved into ordinary white noise. Elliot stared for long minutes, chest heaving, until finally he forced himself forward and pulled the plug again. This time, he carried the TV out into the hallway, shoved it against the wall, and locked his door. He didn't sleep well. Every creak of the building made him jolt awake. When he finally dragged himself out of bed near dawn, he froze. The TV was back in his living room. Dust streaks marked the floor where it had been dragged inside. His locked door was still bolted from the inside. On the screen, words pulsed again. "You can't put me away." The figure reappeared, now seated casually on Elliot's couch. Its grainy body twitched, glitching like a corrupted video. It raised a hand and waved. "You're mine now." Elliot screamed and hurled the box cutter at the screen. The glass shattered in a burst of sparks. The static vanished. Silence. Days passed. He told himself it had been stress, exhaustion, a hallucination. He threw the shattered TV in the dumpster. But sometimes, when he tried to sleep, he heard faint whispering under the hiss of his radiator. Sometimes, when his phone camera caught reflections of his apartment, he saw a figure seated on the couch in the background, watching. One night, desperate to prove he wasn't losing his mind, he snapped a photo of his living room while it was empty. The picture showed him standing there holding his phone, and behind him, grinning through a static blur, was the figure, pressing its jagged hand against his shoulder.